FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Join the National Cleanup and Volunteer Drive. Let's restore our communities one street, one home, one heart at a time. Sign up at supportjamaica.gov.jm. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 6 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. It is Friday. It's Friday, June 19, 2026. We are alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you. If you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, or 90.9, thank you all for joining us on the radio. We're OG radio listeners. We appreciate you. If you are listening and watching on YouTube, top of the morning to you. We are live on YouTube. It's NNN Radio Live. That's NNN Radio Live. And the trick is to type NNN Radio as one word and then space live, Live after that, and you should find the channel much easier. When you found the channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Let me say good morning to those who are in the YouTube chat. Errol Townsend, top of the morning to you. Monique Hunter, Ines Campbell Murray, Jean Sellers, Sonia, good morning to you as well, and all the others in the YouTube chat. Top of the morning to you. If you're listening from or mobile app or website, good morning to you as well. Thank you all for making it nationwide 90 FM. Just before I jump into the regular scheduled programming for today, I was on Facebook yesterday. Yes, Facebook. I still have a Facebook account. I still go over there from time to time and scroll and look what's happening. It's a good way to keep up, you know. A lot of people are still active over there. So I was on Facebook and I saw a picture of the graduation program from St. Teresa Prep from my graduating year. And I just saw my name. And I was like, what's this? And I just want to say, you know, good morning to the class of 2009 St. Teresa Preparatory School. Top of the morning to all of you. I was just going through the names and I'm like, whoa, I haven't seen so many of these people in quite a while. Some people, you know, you see on social media. Some people I've seen around. Some people I still talk to. But class of 2009, St. Teresa Preparatory School, big up on yourself. Big up on yourself. All of you guys, big up on yourself. I was talking to one of my fellow batchmates yesterday, Joseph Hilton. And, you know, he suggested that I do a little big up on my program this morning. So, Joseph, big up yourself too. And big up everybody else, all of you. Class of 2009 St. Teresa Preparatory School is wholly per name, so I can't really call everybody name, but big up on yourself every time. All right, it's Friday, which means it's time for JPS Cares.
The hour between 9 and 10 is brought to you by JPS, powering what matters.
All right. And inside JPS Cares this morning, we are joined by none other than Ruthlyn Johnson, Customer Service Area Manager for the East. Top of the morning to you, Ruthlyn.
Good morning, Nora. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Awesome. And I should have, before I go any further, let you all know that we are at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel this morning. Of course, we are here for an outside broadcast. It's the Outstanding Fathers Awards ceremony being put on by the Bureau of Gender Affairs. But in the meantime, we are inside the JPS Cares until just about 10 o'clock thereabout. So we'll jump right into things. All right, Ruthlyn, it's your floor. Take it away.
And I'm happy to know that you're going to be cool today, even though you're doing an OB.
Absolutely. We love the AC.
No. All right. Today we're talking how JPS prepares for the hurricane season. Last week we spoke about how customers prepare for the hurricane season. Today we look on ourselves. Right. So the hurricane season is on the way. We're now on the way. And by the way, did you realize that we have Tropical Storm Arthur, the first one for this
Yes,
season? Yeah.
I saw a report concerning that one affecting
Yes, man.
possibly Florida and some other states.
And Texas.
Yes, yes,
Atlantic
yes.
hurricane season kick off and ready.
Oh
All
boy.
right. So while Jamaicans are busy preparing their homes and families, based on some of the instructions that we've given, I'm sure they're wondering, so what is the utility doing? And of course, we are also preparing for the hurricane season. You know that we start our preparations from long before. We don't wait until right up on the season to start the preparation. So we're doing extensive preparations, and we've been doing that from, let's say, from January, because we want to be ready to respond when the severe weather threatens the island. It's not a seasonal activity. It's a year-round commitment for us. It involves training, it involves infrastructure upgrades, it involves inventory management, and it involves strategic planning. Because at the end of the day, what we want is to improve the resilience of the grid, the electricity network, to protect our employees and our customers, and to ensure that at the end of it all, should one come, we're able to restore service as safely and as quickly as possible. Those are our key reasons for doing what we do. Now, we want to jump right into some of the things that we do in preparation for the hurricane season. The first thing, hurricane simulations and emergency preparedness exercises. Now, one of the critical ways in which we prepare for the hurricane season is through detailed simulation exercises. And when we say simulation, persons might wonder what that means. It means that we set up something that is realistic. We set up a storm scenario that is as realistic as a storm can be, except we don't have any breeze blowing outside and any rain falling. But we operate as if that is actually the case. We include a category for the hurricane that we're working with. We give it a name, and we have a projected path, and after it passes, we have the extent of the damage. So we come up with everything, and we create this simulated storm, and the entire company is aware, and just like how we operate during storm conditions, we do the same thing. So every employee is assigned a storm rule just the same way, so you're operating as you would operate if it is real. We activate our incident command system, and we had one two weeks ago, and I spent the day in the IC, in the incident command center, in my role, which is liaison, and I had to do the things that I have to do, because you get a scenario that is realistic, and so you have to operate, so you have to give your reports based on that. And sometimes I have to make real calls to the people who are my stakeholders just to tell them that this is a simulation. But if this was real, give me some things that would be important for me to know, and then I pass those back to the incident command as realistic as possible. We have teams out there doing stuff, and we have the transmission and distribution teams, we have the safety teams, we have the people operations team, we have corporate communications, the planning operations team, special projects, stakeholder engagement. Everybody is involved because we want to make sure that we're able to test our plans, the plans that we put in place. We want to test them. We also want to identify any gaps that may exist, because while you're doing it, you're able to say, people realize that, we really would need an additional bucket truck in this area because of the fact that at this point in time, there's no road, because based on what Melissa did last year, that road is now gone, so we have to go around the bend to get to this place, and that now reminds us of things that we need to do. So we identify gaps that need to be fixed, and we ensure that the employees are ready. Puts employees in a state of mind where you're back in emergency mode. So you're working, doing your regular work, but you're now ready in your mind. You're mentally ready for what an hurricane comes with and for the response to any kind of emergencies that come up. So that's what the simulation really is about. And we do this, maybe we do like one in the east, one in the west, one in central, and then we do an all island. So we're really simulating a lot to make sure that we're ready when it comes. Is it break time?
It is. So we've heard about one thing so far that the JPS team does to prepare themselves for the Atlantic hurricane season, which is already underway. If you did not know, now you know. It started June 1 and will go up to the end of November. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more JPS Cares.
Use your Sagicor Bank credit card for a chance to win a VIP watch party for dad and 9 friends. Experience the big game in a private luxury box with catered food and drinks. Score big for dad with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Conditions apply.
Reaching out to all original daddies.
They lead with strength, they love with purpose, they inspire through action. Now it's their turn to be honored. Join Nationwide 90 FM live inside Cliffviews Online Friday, June 19 at 10 a.m. for the Outstanding Fathers Awards Ceremony 2026 under the theme Build on Strength and Sacrifice, Honoring Resilience and Commitment. The Bureau of Gender Affairs will recognize fathers from across Jamaica whose leadership, resilience, and positive parenting continues to make a lasting impact on their families and communities. That's the Outstanding Fathers Awards Ceremony 2026 live inside Cliffviews Online Friday, June 19 at 10 a.m. Let's celebrate the men whose dedication is helping to build stronger families and a stronger Jamaica. Catch this and so much more on our YouTube channel, NNN Radio Live, and keep your dials locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Bureau of Gender Affairs Men's Empowerment Unit. Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family. I miss that family.
Good morning, good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. We are outside this morning at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. We're here with the Bureau of Gender Affairs in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We're here for the Outstanding Fathers Awards. Of course, much more on that later on. Cliffviews Online. In the meantime, inside the Consumer Hour, it's JPS Cares. We are joined by Ruth Lynn Johnson. She's Customer Service Area Manager for the East at JPS, and she's talking to us this morning about JPS's preparedness for the hurricane season, what they do to prepare themselves to respond to any disaster that may come. So Ruth Lynn spoke to us before the break about the hurricane simulation exercises and how they do that, and everybody getting into their storm roles and all of that. Ruth Lynn, we can continue.
Thank you so much. Moving on. The second thing that I want to share today is that we pre-stage equipment and materials. So when a storm is approaching, time is of the essence. Time is important. Time is critical. And so what we do in preparation for, should a storm come, we strategically position critical equipment and restoration materials in key locations across the island. And we do that before the storm actually impacts the country, because we want to make sure that these materials are actually in locations that are less prone to flooding and road blockages. In areas where we know there's likely to be landslides, or maybe a river is going to cut off an area, we are trying to make sure that the materials are there before the storm, so that when the storm passes, we have, resources like poles, transformers, or wires and other restoration supplies, that we have them in those locations already so they can serve a particular area. And we don't have to be trying to figure out creative ways to get them in these places now that the river has totally blocked off the road or the road is cut off by a landslide. It allows the crews to be able to begin restoration work as quickly as possible once the all clear is given. And that is important. It actually saves time, it saves money, it saves energy. It makes for a better response. And this is something we have learned from years of dealing with these hurricane seasons, which comes every year, because we have learned our lessons from many years ago, and so this is one that does not catch us. We make sure that we're ready. We put the equipment where they need to be, and sometimes we put the people as well. So like the night before, the day before, they know that a storm is coming. The next person, based on your storm rule, you know that you need to be over in St. Mary. You need to be over in St. Thomas, because we're not going to try to get you over there after the storm passes. We try to get you there before so that you can be up and running once the all clear is given. All right? The next thing is we often ensure that we have alternate communication systems, because communication can become one of the biggest challenges during and after a hurricane, because of course the traditional networks that we have, they can become disrupted, and we've seen that where those towers, based on where they are, they can fall down, they can be compromised, and so there's no communication system available for persons to be able to make contact with each other. And this, of course, is a challenge for coordinating restoration activities. And so what we need to do is to make sure that we have alternative systems in place. And of course, it's 2026, and we've now realized that one of the popular things that a lot of persons have been using, and I know after the storm we saw them, and I see people still driving around with them, that the police still have them on their vehicles, the Starlink satellite, right? That became a big help after the storm, after Melissa, and I suspect it's going to be around for quite a while, because it does work. I see the police especially still have those Starlink devices on top of their vehicles. That was a big thing for us as well. It really helped us in terms of being able to coordinate our restoration activities. We're able to talk to people in different places, or remote spaces where the towers and the regular traditional networks have gone down. We also have two-way radios in our system and walkie-talkies in our radio, in our networks, and we're able to make contact with our team members using that system. And we also have our internal emergency communication platforms among the JPS team that we use, because communication is critical. It's one of it's like the source that keeps everything connected when you're able to talk to people, because we also want to ensure that we're restoring people safely. Mm-hmm. And it's critical when you're able to talk to people to say, okay, I'm working on this line, I'm going to work on this line from 9 to 12, so system control knows that they need to make sure that that line does not get energized at all, because you don't want people to get hurt. So you need to have the communication systems up and running constantly, all right? So we find those alternate systems that we can use. Then we're moving on to pre-arranged restoration support, right? This is critical as well, because following a major hurricane, restoration efforts may require additional manpower and specialized resources. We saw that after Melissa. Melissa is probably the worst we've had, and therefore we had to bring in the resources. You saw them. Those trucks coming in from other countries, those team members coming in from other countries. We highlighted them quite a bit, right. And I think all of Jamaica knows that they were here. And when they were leaving, when the Canadians and the Americans were leaving, we saw people lining the streets down in the West to say bye to them, thanking them for being here, cheering them, and doing all kinds. It was dramatic when they were leaving, because people were really appreciative of what they did when they came. And so we now recognize, and we've recognized this for a few years now, that we need to ensure that those resources, those agreements, those collaborative agreements that we have, whether regionally or internationally, they're critical. And so we keep them, we keep them in place, we maintain them, and we ensure that these people are available to assist us when necessary, and we also assist the other Caribbean islands as well.
Right.
Because we have mutual assistance agreements through CARELEC, the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation, that is the Caribbean regional support. We assist each other. Whichever island gets a storm or gets battered by any kind of hurricane, then you find team members from the other areas going. So we had that in place. And when we say pre-arranged restoration support, we mean that we also have them in place before the storm comes. So if you realize what happened with Melissa, when we recognized the magnitude of what Melissa was going to bring to Jamaica, we actually had the Americans down here before the storm. It wasn't all of them, but we had some of them already arriving, so that as soon as the all clear was given, they were able to jump out and start working. So we have those pre-signed contracts with our international line contractors, and definitely we're putting them in place and ensuring that they are there, the people are ready to come and serve. And we also have additional personnel that can be deployed to Jamaica to assist with the restoration activities, because it's critical. We understand that climate change is now bringing these big monstrous storms, and so things are different from they were. We know that we won't be able to just rely on just the Caribbean utilities as well, because they're critical and they're valuable, but we recognize that we needed more support, and we're thankful that we had those other persons supporting us for the restoration from Melissa. And we're going to keep those in place because it's critical, and we want to make sure that restoration happens quickly and safely. So pre-arranged restoration support is going to be a part of what we do constantly, right? Then we have our structural integrity program. And this one is ongoing. We have to ensure that the grid is always strengthened, because we want to be able to mitigate the amount of damage that we suffer from. Now, we understand that persons will say, oh, yeah, but the poles still fall down and whatever, the wires still snap. We have to recognize that nature, we can't beat nature, no matter, we can only try, and we can put stuff in place to mitigate against what could possibly happen. But at the same time, we do understand that nature can sometimes defeat us. So yes, we're putting things in place, but at the same time, stuff does happen. So we strengthen the grid in the most important ways that we can think of, but at the same time, things happen. So if a pole still falls, people, don't be shocked, because remember that the pole can also fall because there is a tree that fell on the wire and brought down the pole. And in places like, if I can think of like Helshaw, where it's sandy, the kind of soil that the poles are planted in, they're sandy. And even though we put things in place to work with the kind of soil that it's in, it can become washed out, because the sea can come in and then it can start pulling the sand away, and then because of the type of material that is there in that area, then you'll find that the pole may still fall. So we're not saying poles will not fall, and we're not saying wires will not snap, but we're saying we still have a structural integrity program where we continuously invest in making the network as resilient as possible in preparation for these weather events, right? So some of the things that we do under the integrity program, we install a higher class of utility poles. That's something that we've been doing. Putting poles in that are more resilient, that can manage the storms when they come. We also increase the use of what we call composite poles made from fiberglass-like material. So we're trying to put in place, and as life goes on and things change and technology comes into play and innovativeness is there, poles are now being made from material that can more withstand these kinds of incidents that we have during the hurricane season. And so we are increasing the use of these poles to make sure that we have a grid that's a little bit more resilient. I'm looking at the time, it says 9:30. Are we going for the break?
Yes, we will go for the break at this point. When we come back, more JPS Cares.
Okay.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is
9:30.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us.
Colombia has appeared in the FIFA World Cup on 6 occasions: 1962, 1990, 1994, 1998, 2014 and 2018. In 2014, Colombia reached the quarterfinals, the best ever result by the team. Colombia was originally selected to host the 1986 World Cup after a well-fought battle. However, due to financial deficiency, Colombia was unable to improve the facilities to meet FIFA's requirements in time. Mexico, after beating other contenders, including the USA, replaced Colombia as the 1986 host country. Colombia, one of 48 countries, will be participating at the FIFA World Cup finals, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM, who will have extended coverage of the World Cup, the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us.
Use your Sagicor Bank credit card for a chance to win a VIP watch party for dad and 9 friends. Experience the big game in a private luxury box with catered food and drinks. Score big for dad with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Conditions apply.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Player Profile. Brought to you by Century 21 for everything real estate.
At 41 years old, Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo still has a huge appetite for silverware. He heads to the FIFA World Cup for a record equaling 6th time, still searching for the only major trophy missing from his glittering collection. In the recently concluded Saudi League, Ronaldo led Al Nassr to the domestic title and now has his sights set on capturing the highly coveted FIFA World Cup trophy. Despite his brilliance in front of goal, Ronaldo has remarkably failed to score or laid on an assist in 8 knockout games in his 5 World Cup appearances. Ronaldo has a record 143 goals at the international level and will look to use that pedigree to help spur Portugal to their first World Cup title.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Player Profile. Brought to you by Century 21 for everything real estate.
If you love the vibes, the laughs, and the real talk, then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's JPS Cares this morning. We have been speaking with Ruth Lynn Johnson, Customer Service Area Manager for the East. She's talking to us about what JPS does to prepare themselves for the hurricane season. Some of these things would have already been in place because the hurricane season has started on June 1, and we're going through a list of things that JPS does. We were on the point of structural integrity and how JPS prepares themselves for in that regard. Ruthlyn?
Thank you so much. All right, now to continue on the matter of the composite poles, to share a little bit more about what those poles do. Composite poles, I'm told, they offer what is known as a bend, don't break solution. So they bend, but they don't break, meaning that they're able to flex under pressure rather than snap.
We have those in Jamaica?
We've started to use them. That's what we're saying. We're increasing the use of those kinds of poles on the grid, so that we have reduction in the possibility of damage to the network. So we're increasing those poles in our system. So they bend, they don't break, and they flex under pressure rather than snap. We're also using something called polecrete. I guess if we think concrete, it's now being called polecrete, which is an expanded foam technology that secures the pole in the ground and it reduces water accumulation around the base. Because, once water is able to flood the base of the pole, then it means that pole is going to be washed out and eventually it's going to fall. So this polecrete is something that actually secures the pole in the ground and at the same time reduces the accumulation of water, and it's called polecrete. I don't know if you'll want to get one of our technical people to come on and give you more about that later on at another time.
Would love to,
because I know your mind, Nora, and I know you have questions.
Yes.
Right. So we can get someone to come on and probably give a little session on those specific types of poles, the composite poles, and the material known as polecrete. Right. What we also do in terms of structural integrity is to have we're creating shorter line spans. And I saw this when we were doing restoration during Melissa. So where we used to, we had an area where we had, say, 20 poles to keep the wires up there. What we did was, you heard that we were changing. Now we needed 50 poles. Because what we're doing is cutting down the number, the length of the span between the poles. Because what happens is that when the spans are longer, the wind gets the opportunity to carry on with itself and to whip those wires around, and then you can have them breaking. But if they're shorter, then it means that they're stronger. So you put more poles in and you reduce the span of the line between the poles. It reduces the strain on the network and it minimizing poles falling, like how dominoes fall. Right. When one thing goes down, it drags on the rest of them like dominoes falling. And so having more poles in the system reduces the line span, and then it means that you reduce the possibility of that happening, of the wires breaking and then the poles falling. All right, so those are the elements of the structural integrity program that we have in place to strengthen the grid and make it more resilient should a storm come. Another thing that we do is inventory management and stock readiness, meaning we know that restoration depends heavily on having the necessary materials available when they're needed. And so we keep a strict inventory program, where we ensure that critical equipment is always on hand. We know what we need. We know what these things are. So we're talking utility poles, we're talking conductors and wires, we're talking transformers, other electrical fixtures and hardware that we need. We want to make sure that these are there. So, of course, there's a purchasing department in our company which is very, very active all the time, because you need to look at the inventory to say, okay, we have 10 poles, now we're down to 2. We need to order, because, of course, a lot of these things come from overseas, and they need to take time on the sea to get here on the ships and whatever. And some things, you may have some things that are going to take 3 months to get here from wherever they're coming from. You can't be ordering them 2 months before. You need to order in 4 months so that they can get here and get started, get the inventory checked, and then get it to be transported to the various areas where we need to pre-locate them. They realize it's a whole process. Right. So we have to make sure that this happens and this happens efficiently and effectively. So there's a team that does that, because hurricane season is here, and we use a lot of the material that we had for Melissa, for example. So while you are using them up, you basically need to start ordering back to make sure that you have that backfill in place. So, of course, inventory management is a key part of the preparation for hurricanes. Then we have the vegetation management program, and this one, we talk about this every week, every single week, because we talk about the trees and the vegetation. And these, of course, remain a leading cause of outages during severe weather, because those trees are problematic. I think everybody from the NORA school are up to date and understand how the trees get into the mix, right?
Should.
So we have to carry out vegetation management activities constantly throughout the year. And this is done to reduce outages normally, but also to make sure that we're keeping those areas free, so that when the wind starts and the wires start to spin around, they're not wrapping around tree branches, or we don't have tree branches falling onto the poles and the wires. And so for this one, we need to make sure that we maintain the vegetation along the public thoroughfare. We always say the ones along the public thoroughfare, those are ours. People need to report them to us. And yes, I can hear the voices in the background saying, yeah, but I report a tree. And it still report it, still send it to us. we will always try to get the teams to go out there and get them done because, of course, it's a lot of them. We live in an island, and we have rainy conditions sometimes, and those trees grow, and the bamboos grow 12 inches per day. Yes, we have our situations to contend with. So the team has to be constantly out there. So don't give up and stop reporting. If there's a tree on the public thoroughfare that's close to you that we have not come to, remind us. Continue to agitate. Send it to me. Ruthin will agitate for you. Yes, Nora?
You know, Ruthlin, I think JPS should have a vegetation removal blitz. You know,
A vegetation removal blitz, you said?
Yes,
Blitz?
yes,
Okay.
yes. You know,
Well,
a
that's what we're
month-
doing on this day or that week or that
Yes,
month?
so in the month of August, for example, you're gonna like go hard at removing vegetation and go through that list of complaints or that list of reports that you have for the trees and all the bushes and all of the mango trees and breadfruit trees, and just go out and get them all done.
I'm definitely going to pass that on to my team
Yes,
to tell them that we need to have a blitz,
Yes,
for a
vegetation
specific
removal
period
blitz.
when that's what we're doing. Vegetation removal. I'm going to share that one, Nora.
Yes, yes.
All right? Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
At that point in time, we want to be trimming the trees and the branches that are near the electrical infrastructure, and we want to ensure that we support public safety and network reliability. That's what vegetation management is really about. So it's not even only about hurricane time. It is about the fact that we want to make sure that we always keep the public safe, because you know the whole matter of trees, especially fruit trees, and people trying to get the food when they have grown around the lines, and then that's problem. So we want to make sure that we avoid those kinds of situations generally, so we stay away from that. Then the final thing in our preparation for the storm season is business continuity planning. And I think every business has this. If I check you, Nora, Nationwide has this. There is something that you put in place to make sure that. Why are you laughing, Nora?
No, because I'm a critical part of that business continuity plan,
Okay,
and
yes,
it means
ma'am.
I pack my bag and go to the
Yes.
studio for the duration of the hurricane.
Welcome to this world. Yes, there are some of us who live this kind of life all the time. And some of us who work in these essential service organizations, we live this life all the time. You pack your bag and you say bye to your family.
Exactly.
You go find your position in the organization. Pick up your role and you continue on. This is what we do. Business continuity has to happen because the public is not expecting that Nationwide is going to disappear and JPS is going to disappear, and all these places are going to just stop working and saying, sorry, we have a stop. No. They
You must
expect to
continue
still get their
working.
services. They expect to still hear the station.
Yes.
They expect to hear from JPS. Yes. So business continuity is a part of what companies do, and JPS does that as well. We prepare for the hurricane, and we make sure that we protect the grid, but we also have to prepare for how the company will continue to operate during and after these events. So we have response and recovery plans that we put in place. We have coordination of preparedness activities across the departments. So we have to put in place, for example, a lot of persons have taken on storm roles, but yes, so you have a team of 10. Your storm role is to go to X place and go to Y place, but at the same time, for example, a customer service office, you need to ensure that you have a skeleton number of people who remain behind, who are going to be the people who when customers come into the office, they can find somebody there to talk to.
Right.
So, yes, everybody has a storm role, but your storm role may still be your regular customer service role, but you are still in your storm role because there are certain things you may add to what you do as a customer service representative. You may be logging reports from customers that come in. So it's a part of the continuity program because we have to ensure that critical operations remain functional during this time just the same. It's a part of what we do. The public is relying on us and we can't let them down. So business continuity planning becomes a key element of the process of preparing for the hurricane, because we're preparing for what happens during the storm itself and what happens after the storm passes and what happens when the all clear is given by ODPEM to say you can now go out and do your assessment and then start restoring your customers. Those are the elements of our preparation. So I'll just run back down the main points. So we have hurricane simulations that we do. We pre-stage equipment and materials. We have alternate communication systems that assist us during that time. We also pre-arrange our restoration support, getting resources, human resources from other countries and islands to assist us. And we have a structural integrity program that is ongoing to make sure that the grid is resilient and can manage when the storm comes. We also have a critical inventory management program that ensures that our stock levels are always there and we're in a state of readiness. And we have a vegetation management program that is continuous as well. And then we have business continuity planning that is in place to ensure that we are ready to face whatever comes, and also we're able to function and operate during and after the storm. Those are the ways in which JPS prepares for the hurricane season. All right, I think it's time for the final break, and then I do the wrap-up.
It is. It definitely is. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have more JPS cares, and I believe we have a caller on the line, so we might squeeze that caller in before we take or leave.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile, brought to you by the UDC, making development happen. Saudi Arabia has a significant history in the FIFA World Cup, appearing in 7 tournaments, 1994 to 2006, 2018, 2022, and qualifying for 2026, with their best performance being a round of 16 finish in 1994. Famous for a stunning 2-1 victory over Argentina in the last World Cup, they are known for disciplined underdog performances. Saudi Arabia, one of the 48 teams that will participate at the FIFA World Cup 2026. And you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM. We'll have live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth. That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile, brought to you by the UDC, making development happen.
Use your Sagicor Bank credit card for a chance to win a VIP watch party for dad and 9 friends. Experience the big game in a private luxury box with catered food and drinks. Score big for dad with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Conditions apply.
When a big match, bucket for the crew. When a big match is a big deal too. A KFC when we link up for the big match. When it's time for the big match, we grab a big deal. Big bucket time, my side on the field. It's always KFC. Oh, 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 oh.
Enjoy the biggest party in sports with KFC. Get a big deal or big bucket for the big match and cheer on your team. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Good morning, good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. We're on the final stretch of JPS Cares. We're joined by Ruth Lynn Johnson, Customer Service Area Manager for the Eastern Region at JPS, talking about how JPS prepares for a hurricane or the hurricane season. And Ruth Lynn did already go through all the main points of their preparation. Ruth Lynn, you can just do a quick recap, and then we have Port Morian Man on the line waiting to speak with you.
All right, thank you. So just to wrap up, I went through the various activities that we engage in preparation for the storm. I shouldn't say when, should they come, I'm not going to call anything into being right now. So should one come, we have those things that we do in preparation. But we just want to say it's really a year-round effort for us at JPS. Because, really from one hurricane season to the next, it really doesn't feel like much passes by. You almost feel like you're rolling. You're always in hurricane preparation. So it involves planning, training, infrastructure, investments, and collaboration across the entire organization, and also across the Caribbean, having persons, being ready to assist us, and in other countries as well. So while the storms are unpredictable, our commitment to strengthening the grid improving our response capabilities and restoring service remains constant. That is something that we always have in mind, and that's something that we always put in action to ensure that we're able to restore service safely and reliably, right? We also want to encourage our customers in the mix to prepare early by securing your home, trimming the trees on the private property, updating your emergency supplies, and following the official updates from the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, ODPEM, and JPS throughout the hurricane season. Of course, remember always to go to the legitimate channels, because there are always those persons around. I don't know why, but they like to share fake information that can usually cause people to be scared, and it causes a lot of drama. But if you follow the official channels, GPS has a WhatsApp channel that's very popular, and during hurricane season, it grows in popularity because persons go to that location to get real-time, true information. Follow those legitimate channels to get real information, and not to end up, spewing fake news or responding and reacting to something that's not real. So we encourage everybody to, as a partnership that we're in, to put in your bit to ensure that you keep yourself safe, while GPS also prepares to keep you safe and to do as best as possible to make sure that when the storm passes, you are restored safely and reliably. That's it. We can now take our interviewee, or
all right, callers.
Not interviewee. The person who's going to call to question me. Yes.
All right. Port Morian man, are you still there? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Port Morian man.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have a concern.
Mm-hmm.
That I really want to get some information on a particular matter. I live in Portmore, a community called Westmead Willows.
Westmead?
Yes, Westmead Willows.
Okay.
All right. My issue is that we have the what I call the traditional meters in there, and I am trying to advocate for us to get the smart meters, because the benefits that come with having the smart meters, the ability to track the usage, etc. Alright, so we have been having some dialogue with JPS. We've had it in the past, and I've spoken to a number of residents, and they said they would have met with representatives from JPS before. And what was told to them was that, they would have to pay to have the smart meters installed. Some persons were not able to afford it, so only a few were able to take up that opportunity. Right? I wasn't there at the time. I am now in the community, and I'm trying to get the smart meters at my property. But I'm told that the property is not equipped to have a smart meter system installed, which I'm not sure which is the case, if it is that we need to pay or it's not equipped. So I'm trying to advocate to get the smart meters in. What is the process to go about getting that done?
All right. So your call is very interesting, because when you say you don't have a smart meter, what kind of meter? Can you describe the meter that you have?
The meter that I can't necessarily describe it, but what I know is I have the app. And at a previous location that I was, the smart meter was there, so I could track my usage on a daily basis.
But you can't know.
I can't know, right? I get a surprise every month when I get my bill. As a matter of fact, I have been having some concerns over the past 2 months because my bill has moved up by 100%, and I'm not doing anything new. There's no additional persons in my household. So it's very alarming for me, for my usage to move up by 100%, right?
Okay.
But I'm not able to track the usage because I don't have the smart meter. So it's a major concern for me.
Okay. So I'm going to need your information, because I need to speak with you one-on-one, because I need to know, firstly, what kind of meter you have. I definitely want to get a better understanding of that, because we have a number of different types of meters. I want to know what kind you have first. And then the second thing is, you said you have to pay for it. That's new to me. If you are a JPS customer, and you have a meter, you are a customer of ours, you don't pay for a meter. You pay a deposit when you open your account, which is a residential deposit of $6,000. No, that's what it is now. And if your meter is to be changed, we change your meter. We don't charge you for a meter. So that I don't know. I'm not sure where that came from, but you're saying people paid for it. So that's interesting. You don't pay for a meter. You pay a deposit for the service, and then you pay a customer charge for the service that we provide. You don't pay for a meter. So it's not like you pay for one meter and then if you're changing it to another one, you pay for it. That's not how it works. So there are a number of things there that need to be clarified. So I need to have a one-on-one discussion with you. I need to get your account number so I can look to see the type of meter that you have. And then I can know the area that you're in so I can talk to the manager responsible for that area. So need to have your information.
Okay.
All right. All right, just stay on the line and speak with the producer. She'll take your information and we'll give it to Ruthlyn and she'll give you a call, all right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try to squeeze one caller in. Judy, good morning. Is Judy there? Good morning.
Hi, yes, I'm here, Ruthlyn.
Hi, morning.
Yes, morning, Ruthlyn. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. I'm just reminding you about Bougainville in Mona, the light pole that went down, and I sent you an email, but
and was shared, so I'm going to have to do a little advocacy on your part then.
Yes, please, try your best. Because the children walk on a little track near the light pole, you know how they swing on the poles and stuff, and it's very dangerous.
They shouldn't be swinging on any poles, you know. They should be staying far from them.
Yes.
I don't want anybody swinging on any poles out there at all.
Yes, well, let them know, because we have a lot of school children going through the community too,
Right. All right, I will definitely go back to my team members on that.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a good weekend now, both of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much,
Bye-bye,
Judy.
bless.
All right. That's all the time we have this morning for JPS Gears. Thank you so much, Ruthlyn, for joining us. You do enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend.
All right, take care.
All right. And we are going to take our leave now. We're making way for Cliff Hughes online here at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. We're here for the Outstanding Fathers Awards being put on by the Bureau of Gender Affairs. That's in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport.
That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
The hour between 9 and 10 was brought to you by JPS, powering what matters.